Should farm income be taxed? That's at the center of a fresh debate after NITI Aayog member Bibek Debroy in a press conference argued that the government should tax the rural sector, including agriculture income, above a certain threshold. It has been spoken of in the past, but is clearly a politically sensitive subject. But does it make good economics or not? Opinion is divided, in fact, most against the move, given the vast numbers of farmers, more than a majority really, who will not make it to this tax bracket. So is there anything to gain? That's what we are looking at this evening. Let me introduce my panelists on this. Devendra Sharma, Food Policy Analyst, joining us from Bhubaneswar in the Delhi studios. Dr. T. Haq, former Chairman of the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, NITI Aayog, and agricultural expert as well. Also, we will be joined by Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP in just a bit. Dr. Haq, perhaps few people know this space better than you do. You have been looking at agriculture, the costs involved for a long time. For those who say that perhaps this is an idea whose time may have come, even though it's a political hot potato, what would you say?
Now, by my personal view, based on my own observation and experience in the past, is that it is neither a good economics nor a good politics. So it is both bad economics and bad politics. In the past, several states made attempts to impose agriculture income tax. And for two reasons, I will say that this is not good, because first of all, the amount of tax that you collect is much less as compared to the cost of administration. So that way it did not make sense anywhere in any of the states which tried in the past. And secondly, it created a lot of harassment to the farmers and also creates disincentive to the farmers to produce more and raise farm productivity and income. And at present, particularly when the Honorable Prime Minister of India wants that the income of farmers should be doubled by 2022.
That's right. Yes.
So in that context, if you raise again, before raising the income, if you talk of imposing income tax on the farmers, I think this does not give a good signal.
But Dr. Haq, there are all those who could argue that we're not talking about the majority of India's farmers, not the 60, 70, maybe even more. We're talking about those farmers, the rich landlords, the wealthy farmers. Why should they be exempt? Those who are perhaps earning in crores, and the other side, of course, all those who we believe are misusing this exemption on agricultural income. How do you see that?
Yeah, these are two different points. One thing is that why not tax the wealthy farmers? In fact, if you say wealthy farmers, I don't know who are the farmers you are saying wealthy, because in the case of Punjab, say for instance, normally we find the average income of Punjabi farmers as on today is about 10,000 rupees, 882 to be precise.
Of Punjab farmers?
Punjab farmers.
Who we think are the wealthiest farmers in the country.
Okay. And if you go to Bihar and Odisha, Bihar, it is only 1,600 something, less than 2,000. Similarly, Orissa, it is less than 2,000. West Bengal, it is less than 2,000. Monthly income of farmers means not individual, farm family. So average family of 5 members, how do they survive, you can imagine, and why there is farmer suicides. But apart from that, on the other question, that why not, if there is wealthy farmer, why they should not be taxed? They should be taxed. And there are taxes, even if, as on today on record, some of the state governments have a provision to tax agriculture income, but central government cannot do it.
Exactly.
It is beyond the jurisdiction of central government, because central government can impose only income tax on personal income other than agriculture.
It's going to require a constitutional amendment really
but
for
then
the centre to
some
get into
people misuse this particular clause. Some of the non-farm income groups people,
that's right,
they misuse this.
Exactly.
Like they will show their income coming from agriculture.
And I think the question is there any way to sort of cap that? One,
I think that has to be done.
Okay, Dr. Haq, I take your point there. Let's go across to Devendra Sharma and Sudhanshu Mittal. Devendra Sharma, first to you. You know, the point that I was making earlier was, I don't think it's anyone's point that tax the majority of India's farmers. We know what a serious crisis farm distress is in the country today. But what about those who are using this as an escape route to either park money, in the name of their agricultural land, avoid income tax? The so-called rich landlords and the wealthy farmers, are they misusing this? Is there any way to get them into the tax net? What would you say, Devendra Sharma?
Well, I think it is quite obvious that the agriculture tax exemption limit is being misused by a lot of people who are, of course, rich, and also by corporations. I don't understand why Monsanto, the multinational corporation, should get a tax exemption of 94 crores. I don't understand why the Telangana Chief Minister, who has 60 acres of land and who claims that he is earning 10 crores, should not be taxed. I don't understand why Supriya Sule, the daughter of Sharad Pawar, her income from 9 acres of land is 115 crores. Why shouldn't she be taxed? Okay. They are not being taxed. So, you know, the Chief Minister of
not
Punjab,
here to defend themselves, but yes.
we must look into his. Yes, but whatever, these are figures in the newspapers, you know, I'm quoting from the newspaper reports.
Okay.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is, yes, these people are taking, you know, advantage of these tax laws, agriculture exemptions, and therefore they need to be brought under tax law. Nobody is challenging that part. But more interestingly, I find there is a kind of a feeling of contempt, or this agriculture farmers are being exempted and they should be brought under tax. I think today, if you look at it, the total tax exemption, total tax claims, taxable claims that were made by these people is only 9,000 crores in 2014. So out of 9,000 crores, you're going to get a few hundred crores. But what about the lakh and crores of tax exemption we give to corporates every year? This year we have given 8,63,000 crore tax exemption to the corporates. So in the last 12 years, we have given 48 lakh crore rupees. No, hold on. 48 lakh crore rupees to the corporates tax exemption. Now, why on one hand we are giving tax exemption to people who don't deserve it, and then we want to tax the sector which has been exempted all these years and which is in crisis? I don't see you know, how you can be robbing Peter to pay Paul. That I think should not be the approach. The government of India, if it is very clear, then I think it should stop the tax exemption to the corporates.
All right.
They don't deserve all those lakhs of crores, and then you start talking about the bringing the tax, you know, under the net to the rich people also. Okay,
so this is of course just an idea that has been floated yet again. It has been spoken of in the past as well. We've seen none other than the finance minister himself said that the government has absolutely no desire, no move is being made to sort of do this. But Sudhanshu Mittal, you wanted to get in here.
I was just listening to Devendra ji. I have a few observations to make. First, Devendra ji, the assumption that the government wants to tax has been clarified by everybody, including NITI Aayog as well as the finance minister of the country, that there is no proposal to tax agriculture income. B, when we look at, because you know, I saw you arguing about taxing the rich farmers, and then you are saying no, that they should not be taxed. So there seems to be a confusion in the stand you're taking. What I am saying is, see, when we evaluate a system, we have to see what is a norm and what is an aberration. There may be misuses and there may be aberrations to what is otherwise the norm. We can never use an aberration or a misuse to discredit the norm itself. Agriculture is the prime source of employment in this country, without a doubt. That agriculture itself is a distressed activity, where its financial viability of agriculture itself has been undermined so often, and it has led to disastrous consequences. So in a sector where largely the productivity is seen to be non-economically viable, there is just no proposal of the government to tax agriculture. However, when we talk about the big agriculturists who have tons and tons of money out of agriculture, some of the examples which were quoted, we are forgetting that there is a tax on their expenditure. There will not be an indirect tax of the income tax on them, but for every expenditure they make, there is a corresponding tax, be it sales tax, now it will be VAT, it will be whatever, you know. So not that people who are earning money are not taxed, they are. But yes, direct income tax on this sector is neither desirable nor is intended by this government, as we are clear today.